Rashan is a renowned speaker, higher education advocate, and an advocate for ending the school-to-prison pipeline, as well as a political activist. Please welcome to the stage, Rashan Prailow.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I want to give a special thanks to Ms. Robinson for contacting me through her brother, who's a great man for my city as well. But first and foremost, before I get into any keynote speaking, I want to give a congratulations to these young people right here, and I want y'all to put it together for them, please. So I'm Rashan Prailow, right? So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about me and the events that led me to where I'm at today. But most importantly, as I talk, I want you all to be engaged, because this is less about me and this is about you. This is your day. You know, and the only reason why I'm here today is because of the success that you all have been able to achieve, and I want you to know that. So please don't think that this is about me. This is not a keynote. This is an intimate conversation I want to have with you all, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So I'm Rashan Prailow. As was mentioned, I was born and raised in Camden, New Jersey. So I know most of you are from Trenton School District in here. Very similar to Camden, wherever you're from in Jersey, whatever inner city you're from, we all have the same struggles. So when I grew up, you know, I faced the same things y'all face. You know, I'm just like you. You know, my dad wasn't around, heroin addict, in and out of jail. It was me and my siblings, that was it. Growing up out East Camden. My mom raised us the best she could. And I was a good kid. You know, I played sports, I played football, but I, fell victim to my environment, like most of us tend to do. Not because I'm weak-minded, not because I'm a follower, because I thought that I didn't have any other options. You know, I didn't think of myself as much. When I was in 9th, 10th grade is when things started to go south in my personal life. I was at Woodrow Wilson High School and started dibbling and dabbling, you know, getting involved in a little street activity. Wasn't showing up to class no more. There wasn't a Camelot around at that time, so I was one of the kids that was tolerated. They just tolerated us in school. Was in and out of school, in and out of school. My 10th grade year, I missed about 60 days. They brought me in for summer school, and I went just so I can proceed to the next grade because I wanted to play football. But my senior year, my mind was made up. You know, I'm 5'5". I wasn't going to the league. You know, I don't rap. I don't do anything that I thought was for me. Education wasn't on my radar. My senior year, I left Wilson. I graduated, but I would like to tell people I was pushed out of Wilson. I had a 1.1 GPA and 97 unexcused latencies and absences my senior year. The majority of my time was spent on Rand Street and different blocks in my little neighborhood. And when I left Wilson, you know, I really didn't have no plan. I was 18, I was a man. You know, how most of you are about to enter the real world. You know, I thought I had it all figured out. I had no clue what was ahead of me. January 29th, 2009. Y'all know what day that was? I do. And I'm gonna ask you guys, do you know what day January 20th, 2009 was? Y'all probably were a little young back then. Do any of y'all know what day that was? Well, I'm gonna answer the question for y'all. That was the day Barack Obama became the first black president, right? January 20th, 2009. So how old were all of you, like 10, 11, 9? Okay, cool. I was 18 at that time, right? Going on 19. So he was, you know, taking his presidency. 9 days after that, I was on my way to the county jail. And I'm bringing this story full circle to y'all so y'all can see how life has plans for you when you don't have plans for yourself. If you have faith, you gotta believe in something greater than yourself. And this whole auditorium is packed right now, and they all here for you guys. So we can't use the excuse that don't nobody care. You know, your mom might not be around, your dad might not be around, my father wasn't around, but it's somebody that care about you. It's somebody in this audience that want to see you guys succeed. You know, so I want you guys to remember that. So I'm gonna fast forward and kind of move forward with the story, because I don't want to lose y'all. So January 29th, 2009, I'm on my way into the county jail, Camden County Jail, right? Obama just became the first black president, everybody's excited, that's cool. I didn't vote for him. You know, I was politically disengaged. I didn't feel like politics had anything to do with my life and it didn't matter. So I'm on my way into the county jail. And I had one experience that changed the trajectory of my life. Regardless of all the other stuff that happened, it was this one moment. So I'm in a situation, you know, I'm in a jail with 5 felonies. Not knowing how I'm gonna get out of this situation. I was in a jail cell with a guy who was 47. I was 19 at the time. He was my father's childhood friend. And we was from the same neighborhood, we talking, we going back and forth, and he doubled my age. And he told me, he said, man, you don't want to be locked up with your dad. He said, think about that. He said, we got generations of young men in here that look just like you, that shackled behind this wall. This ain't no place for no man. And I was listening to him, but I didn't really care. You know, I thought I was gonna do whatever I wanted to do, but it hit home. It touched my heart. So I, go through my situation, I post bail. So now I'm out in the streets trying to figure it all out. I didn't have no plan, but I was fortunate enough to be acquitted of my charges. I beat my case, and the only thing that was available to me was education, education, education. And I don't know what that means to all of you, but I can tell you right now, whether you believe it or not, and I don't know if your intentions are to go on to college or whatever you want to do, but education changed your life already. I'm quite sure whatever path you was heading down, if it wasn't for the Rubino School, Camelot, to come pull you into that structure, you wouldn't be where you at right now. So education was the only thing that kept calling me. I signed back up for Camden County College. I failed out my first time. I skipped that because that wasn't even a part of my real story. I didn't think I belonged there. I went back to Camden County. I was 21 years old, so I was an older student, right? But I was committed, I was focused, because I had this new perspective, like, man, I gotta do something in my life. Because nobody that looked like me was able to resemble what I wanted to do. Everybody that looked like me who wasn't in the league or being an athlete or entertainer was on the streets. So I had to try to charter my own path. And that's what I hope that I could be for you all, a representation of somebody that looked like you, that was able to do something different, that went through the same trials and tribulations, seeing the same different things, murder, drug dealing, robberies, everything you could think about. We all grew up in that same bubble, but that don't define you. You guys gotta start stripping yourself of them labels. You're not a thug, you're not crazy, you're none of that. That don't fit who you are. You guys are winners. You guys are winners, and you need to keep that in mind. We all lost before. Don't think that this graduation is less than your high school graduation that might have 70 kids. Sometimes less is more. And I believe that you guys right here is who we need. You guys are gonna be the reason why things turn in a positive direction, because I was you. As a guaranteed fact, I was you. And I get invited to speak places because people love a story, but I like to tell people all the time I'm bigger than the story. I'm a reality, and all of you guys are a reality. You guys are success. You're a success manifesting, but you gotta believe it. You gotta believe it. I don't know what it's gonna take, because I'm sure you guys seen enough already to know that ain't the route y'all wanna go, especially to my young women. You guys are the backbone of the community. Y'all mothers, y'all sisters. Like, what's next? What's the plan? Like, how long are we gonna keep doing the same things and thinking we're gonna get different results? And I'm gonna go back to what I was telling you guys. I went to Camden County at 21. So how old are all of you? All of you under 18? Anybody over 18 years old? All right, a few of y'all. I was 21 when I went back to school, so it's never too late. I was 27 when I got my bachelor's degree. So I kept going. It was a grind. But throughout that time, I had to remember, I'm not a loser. Yeah, I lost in life. I failed in high school. I dropped out of community college. I got locked up. All these different labels sticking to me. My dad is on drugs. He been locked up my whole life. All these different labels, I had to strip them. And I like to define myself and define you young people as well as losers that keep winning. Because your entire life you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose friends, family, opportunities. You're gonna lose everything that you thought belonged to you, but you can't lose yourself. You can't lose yourself. I didn't lose me. So keep these things in mind, because life is serious. You guys are transitioning to an important time where there's no more Rubino, there's no more Camelot people calling you, telling you to come on time and do your homework. The world is cold, especially the people that look like us. Can I tell you guys the truth? Can I be transparent? People that look like you don't get a lot of second chances. I got mine and I took advantage of it. I went to community college. At 21 years old, I locked in, I focused. From there, I had the opportunity to go to the University of Pennsylvania after 3 years, which was a great opportunity, one of the 8 Ivy League universities in the country. And again, I'm going in there at 24. So now I'm an older student, I'm around 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, people y'all age, teaching me about life. And I had to rediscover that, man, I don't know anything. And so don't let your age make you feel like that you don't add value or that you don't have no advice to give nobody. I know I can learn from each and every one of y'all. I was in school with people that were 6, 7 years younger than me, teaching me about life, showing me how to interview for jobs and giving me game. And I was receptive to it because I had to keep stripping back them labels. Now, I'm not an older student, it's just my path. This is what life, was made for me. I got to charter my own path. I can't have a traditional path, just like any of you. You don't have a traditional path no more, but you got to embrace that. And while I was at the University of Pennsylvania, I was able to get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In 2015, I was invited to come as a White House Fellow to work for the same guy, if you guys were following the story, who became the first black president when I was on my way to jail, right? So in this 6-year period, in the short 6 years, I went from going to the county jail while Barack Obama was becoming the first black president to working with him. And I share that with you because you don't know what to expect in the future. People gonna always ask you, what you wanna do in 5 years? What's your 3-year plan? You can have one, but there's a plan that's bigger than anything that you have planned, and that gotta come from God, man.
All right.
It gotta come from God. I don't know what you guys believe, and it's not about your religious beliefs, but it's about believing in something bigger than you. Whatever that spiritual connection is, I had no idea. I'm not kidding you. Nobody can tell me, from my mentors to anybody that said, man, you gonna do great things. Ain't none of them say you was gonna be working at the White House. I didn't think that. So when I walked into that space, I realized I had a purpose, and my purpose was bigger than me. And your purpose is bigger than you. Like, what are you living for? If your dreams ain't bigger than you, then they're not big enough. Do you want to inspire somebody? Because I'm expecting one of y'all to be on this stage one day, telling a story of how you overcame this, overcame that. A story of victory, a triumph. Like, what's next for you? Your life is not yours alone. And that's selfish to even start to think that. Y'all got people all in this audience that's riding on your success and that's wanting you to be the best version of yourself. And while I was at the White House in 2015, I got the opportunity to come back. And again, I realized that I had a purpose. I could have went and worked in New York, San Francisco, all these different cool places for money. I went back to the White House for little to no money because I knew I had a purpose. My vision was bigger than me. And that's why I stand here before you guys today, just to give you a real perspective of what it's like to go through the struggle and overcome that struggle. But the only way you can do that is by stripping labels back. You can always remain who you are at your core, but you gotta change some of your ways. The best way to become the best version of yourself is to be honest with yourself. What you've been doing that hasn't worked? What has it been? Has it been relationships you had? Has it been you lying to yourself, not being honest to yourself about things you're doing? Once you start being honest with you, life around you gonna change. And we need you guys. We need you guys so, so much, man. I can't explain that. I can't explain that enough. When I was in the White House, I would look around and nobody was there that looked like me. I was the only black person on the team of 55 people when I was in presidential personnel. And every day I would walk in the office or walk in a meeting and think, man, I'm not just here for me. I'm representing people that look like me all across this country so you can have an opportunity. I had to do my best. That's just the burden that we carry. And it's not nothing that should make you feel upset or feel insecure or inferior. You're like, man, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders. You probably do, and that's a good thing. Embrace that. Embrace that. And I'm just so excited, man, to be here sharing my moment with you guys and just telling a little bit about me, but I'm more or less interested about what you're going to do. You know, speaking is not something that you do because you want to talk about your accolades. I want to make a connection with you all. I want this thing to go beyond me speaking for 10 to 15 minutes. Keep in contact with me. Let's talk. Let's discuss things. What's next steps? Because you could be one of them people that's 10 years younger than me that can help me. So always remember that, man. You guys are not losers. You're winners. Losses are going to happen. That's part of the process. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. And thank you all so much. And shout out to y'all families for being here. This is an exciting time. And thank you all for having me. Thank you.